Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. Welcome back to Cardio Made Simple, lecture number 2, burn requirements. How many calories do we want to target burning with our cardio if we are after fat loss and health? And if you didn't see the first video in the series, there's a playlist. Go ahead and check it out. All right. So how much cardio? The first thing to do about cardio is to determine how many calories you needed to burn. Later, we can find out how we're actually going to do that by choosing the proper cardio methods or modalities, like is it elliptical, is it swimming, is it biking, so on and so forth. For health and fat loss, how many calories you burn is by far the most determinative factor, even more determinative than how hard the cardio is. If you're sweating a ton versus if you're not, the biggest deal is how much cardio you do. So how much should you be aiming to burn? After examining a lot of the health and wellness literature and the fat loss literature, and I've been a professor for a while, I used to teach courses like this at the university level, I figure it looks like this. To stay leaner and healthier at any given weight, you need to do a certain baseline of cardio. If you are mostly inactive, you work an office job, you drive to the store, or even get your shit delivered by Amazon, and you drive to work, you drive back, you have a cat instead of a dog, you mostly just sit, you have very low step count per day, let's say under 5,000 steps, then 5 days a week of cardio, each session being cardio that gets you sweating at least a little bit, is a very good start. If you need a calorie number, which is sure shit better than not having one, it's taking your weight in kilograms and multiplying it by about 5. So if you weigh about 100 kilograms, which is 220 pounds, 100 kilograms multiplied by 5 gives you 500 daily calories that you should be burning with cardio. Well, that's quite a bit. True. But remember, in this example, you're very inactive. So a lot of that is just daily activity you should be doing that you're now doing through cardio. If you are very active, which we define as above 10,000 steps per day on average, then you're actually getting enough steps that you don't need any additional cardio for general good health and fat abatement. The rest of that equation can come out, if you wish, of exclusively your food. If you're at 10,000 steps on average, you don't have to do any more cardio. You can just cut out some food, create a deficit like that, and you'll have really good results. Now, we can get more specific. If you are determining cardio, so that was just for maintenance levels. You just want to be healthy and fit and pretty lean. But you don't want to lose weight. If you are trying to lose weight and you want to engineer a fat loss scenario, here's how you use cardio with it. You take your planned deficit, the amount of calories you're going to cut out of your diet, be it through cardio or through reduced food intake, whichever, we don't care for now. And that's the number you start with. Let's call that 500 calories a day, because that loses us an average of a pound of body fat per week, something like that. What you want to do in most cases, or at least in the average case, if you just don't know any better because it's your first run at it, no big deal, you want to cover half of that amount with added cardio, zap that deficit out, and the other half with removing food intake, reducing how many fats you're eating, maybe some carbs, definitely cutting out some junk. So in this case, your food removal will be about 250 calories per day of food that you would remove, which is not that much food. And then you would add 250 calories per day of cardio, 250 on average per day. That is a good place to start. If whatever weight you're losing, now look, if you want to lose 2 pounds a week or something, you tend to be bigger. That's going to be 1,000 total calories. You can start with cardio that adds 500 calories and remove 500 calories worth of food. That's the beginning. Your body will adjust. Your psychology will adjust. Your movement will adjust. And then a few weeks later, you might have to do another deficit cut. You might start with a 500 calorie deficit, but after a while, a few weeks, you're not losing weight as fast as you would like. You might have to cut another 250 calories or so to keep yourself on track. How do you do that? Well, you don't automatically add 50% cardio and take 50% of food away. Don't do that. Do something a little bit better. It's a little tiny bit more complicated, but I promise it's super simple. You ask yourself a question. What will make my fat loss phase, the remainder of it, harder? If the next thing I do is take my food down even more than it is, or if I raise my cardio up even more than it is. I'll give you 2 extreme scenarios. One scenario is you are full, like you're to the brim. You're eating all this healthy food. You're like, I don't even have food cravings. But you're doing an amount of cardio that's like really tiring you out and it's taking a long time. In that case, you would probably take all or most of the new deficit, that next 250 calories you want to cut out, and just cut it out of food. Because like you're already tired from cardio and you're not remotely diet fatigued from not eating enough. So that's an easy choice. On the other hand, you're barely moving around. You're doing the bare minimum cardio. You actually have plenty of energy and you kind of want to get out of the house more, but you are eating so little food that you are starving to death. You want to eat your own hand. Would you cut food in that respect, in that next decision to increase the deficit? No. You'd probably increase the cardio by 250 calories entirely and leave the food the hell alone. Now, those are extreme scenarios. You'll probably do a balancing act of one or the other, but the really simple advice here is if you're low on energy, but you're relatively full, then absolutely cut more food than you do add cardio. If you're really pretty high on energy, you could fit in some cardio, no problem, but your food is starting to really piss you off, like it's just not enough and you wish you had more by a long shot, then I would say it's probably going to need not to lower your food as much, maybe a little bit, but have more of than you normally would of the burn come in from added cardio. And it's really as simple as that. All right. That's it for this video. We know how much cardio to do. Next time, we'll talk about what modalities to use. Is it going to be the elliptical? Is it going to be the step mill? Is it going to be running up to your neighbor's house with a bag of shit, put it in the mailbox, light it on fire, run away? Who knows? We'll see you next time.